I also want to talk about you do your presenting work, right? You're a presenter. Like, I'm gonna quickly say this, yeah. Like in future, yeah, I would like to present, to give it a go, you know, to present and do certain things because I love the sound of my own voice and I feel like sometimes it's good to try different things with it. But the only thing, like being a presenter, maybe obviously you might correct me, is like I always, maybe this is just self-doubt or like a voice in my head just trying to basically, you know, make me doubt myself, is like you see the memory in terms of you remembering certain things and whatnot. For example, presenting at an award, you know, like you need to remember certain things, to say certain things. I feel like I might just stumble the bag, but if I went to freestyle the whole thing or whatever, freestyle most of it, I feel like I'll kill it. So for you, obviously you're a presenter, and sometimes we like to kind of like, because obviously I understand there's a lot of different types of presenters, right? Everyone's unique, they're different in their own way. So obviously for you, like what type of presenter would you say you are?
Oh, that's an interesting. What kind of presenter would I say I am? I don't bloody know.
You're Bekka.
Yeah, I'm just Bekka Whitney.
Yeah.
I think I like to keep things light-hearted and engaging. I think the people connection is the biggest part for me. I think one of my flaws is that I tend to make jokes when I'm nervous or uncomfortable, and sometimes I say really stupid things that aren't funny. So that's something that I have to be mindful of when I'm presenting.
No, but that's your thing, isn't it?
Humour.
If it gets you through, whatever gig you're presenting.
I'll tell you a little story. Like, oh my god, I'm getting cringing just even like thinking about it.
All of us are unique. All of us are unique in our own way, man. Trust me, Bekka.
My most embarrassing story of using humour inappropriately or thinking I'm funny when I'm really not.
Yeah.
I used to work in local government for a long time. I used to manage
shit.
teams in like family services.
Yeah.
And I started this new job, and I was going into the team, and I'd met with my new boss, who was a gay woman. I hadn't kind of opened up my sexuality at that stage, but she was a gay woman. You'll see why this is relevant in a minute. You're probably wondering why is that relevant. So we're having a chat, she's introducing me, telling me a little bit about the team and the work I'm going to be doing. It's great. She's like, all right, shall we go and have a meeting? We can go in one of the meeting rooms and we can sit down together. I'm like, all right, yeah, great. She's like, I'm just going to introduce you to the team on the way through. So I'm like, okay. So she's walking along and I'm walking along behind her, and she gets into the middle of the team. There's about 6 of them and they're sort of sitting around the desk. And she's like, right guys, we're just going to go into the meeting room and have a chat. And I went, yeah, chat, I want a shag.
Yeah. Oh shit.
What?
Huh?
What? Why did I say that?
Oh my god.
Why did I say that?
I think
And
that went over
everybody
people's heads. Huh? Oh shit. Did you hear what she said?
New job, local authority, children's services, new teammates who'd never met me before.
You what, mate?
Yeah, a chat, not a shag.
Oh my. You what, mate?
How I even managed to keep that job, I don't know.
How's their reaction? How's people?
It was like tumbleweed. It was like absolute silence. Everybody's staring like a freaking alien and just walked into the room like, what?
Was you nervous? You said, was you nervous? And
I
you
was
just
nervous.
randomly?
I was nervous and I was bubbling and I was trying to be funny.
Oh
yeah, no.
my god.
So that, I got all hot cheeks. Just even
Oh
really
shit.
You know, I don't know if you ever get like second-hand embarrassment where you randomly remember something that happened to you in the past and cringe all over again. Yeah, that one comes back to me rather regularly.
Hey.
When it's on court, it's difficult in a corporate environment. They're so serious. So.
Did I think it rhymed? Did I think it was fun? Like, I don't know. Like, even now today, I could not tell you why the hell I said that. I did that as well.
You need to get that as well? No. Wait, if I was one of your colleagues, one of the people that, obviously, you said there was a few people, I would have been bamboozled. I would have been like,
I could have been a fly on the wall for when I went in that meeting room and the conversation that then happened around them desks. Yeah. Like, after I'd gone, I wish I could know.
She went what?
She said
she wanted to do what? I fucking can't
my
believe
boss
it.
kind of went, yeah.
Yeah, I want a shag too, yeah.
Because she was gay? Like, why did I say that? Like, I don't know.
That's hilarious. Thank you for sharing that with us.
That's alright. No, it's going to live on forever. Like, I've just told my most embarrassing story. Like, yeah, great.
God. Hey, you know what? Like you said,
also broke the ice, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's.
Yeah, we were all great friends. So we were a great team after that for a good couple of years.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Like there's a lot of people. I think it's human nature. Innit? I think there's a lot of people who do certain things when they're nervous. Innit? It's like when the nerves get a hold of you. It's like sometimes you just never know what you're gonna do or how you're gonna react to it.
So if we think about presenting a little bit, I guess it depends on the context. I guess it depends on the size of the gig. You might have a teleprompter that keeps you on track with all the things that you've got to say. And if you haven't, then it's okay to have a little printout. It's okay to have a little something. Think about how it looks from the audience perspective, but it's okay to have a little something in your hand, not your mobile phone, but you might have some cards or something if you need things to kind of remember.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. Obviously, I'm off camera. So even with my questions, like I wanted to do that, have like little cards or whatever. Even I've got, to be fair, most conversations that I have now, I can just go off the top of my head, like with the questions and the direction of the conversation. But I understand when it comes to obviously presenting, like sometimes, like even when you're live on TV or whatever, cameras are on you, it's like a different ballgame to a certain degree.
The best interviewers, I think it feels like just a natural conversation.
Yeah.
You know, and that they are the best, most organic, authentic interviews, I think, because you're just having a chat. When I used to interview for Integrity magazine, that was how I used to view it. So I would do my research and I'd have a list of questions or things that I wanted to explore with them, but I wouldn't stick to it. I'd just have it as a reminder. To give me a jog to just go down that lane and just let the conversation naturally evolve, because people often want to talk and they want to be heard, and sometimes you just need to ask a one line and it opens up a whole direction in the conversation that you never knew it was going to go down.
You're going to be sounding like a robot and all that type of stuff.
So we're presenting like, sorry to even cut you, bro. So like we've even presented now, moving forward, you know, obviously, would you like to do more of it? Like, obviously, you know, like we believe here, putting things out into the universe, you just never know who's listening or, you know what they say. So it's like, like we're presenting, would you like to do more of it? And also like, what kind of maybe presenting would you like to do? Maybe host some awards?
I wouldn't say presenting is my primary focus. Okay. It's one of those things that I kind of fell in. So I started working for Integrity magazine and I was their music lead. So I would interview music artists and write the articles about music artists for the magazine. So that's kind of how I slid into interviewing, presenting type stuff. And then obviously when I do my own events, and I was doing the live band open mic night for 3 years, I was presenting and hosting every 2 weeks when we were doing that. And then on Live on the Thames, I also host. And then I've got the O2 Academy Tour at Islington coming up next week, where I have joined forces with a promoter called Anxie, and under his umbrella, myself, Sandy, and a few other promoters doing a big event there for independent artists. That's on the 27th. So I'll be hosting then with Sandy. I think both the Gogglebox ladies are going to be at that one. So I do a little bit of presenting, because I think it is about putting the face on the brand as such, but it's not my primary motivator. It's just something that I can do and do. A bit like writing poetry, it's something that I can do and do, but it's not my primary focus. I think my first love, first and foremost, will always be performing. It'll always be performing. So on the Thames we'll have my band, the Jada Funk Collective, and I'm looking forward to that, because we lost 3 of our residencies at the end of last year, changes of management, which was a bit of a shame. So I've not been performing as much. And that has a direct impact on my lung capacity, and that's something that I've learned this year as well. I've not been gigging, so I was gigging like 2-3 times a week. Now I'm probably gigging once or twice a month at the moment, so not as much at all. But how it's impacted my lung capacity because of the breathing and the cardiovascular that goes on for the sort of 2-3 hours while you're gigging, it's had a massive impact. So music is literally my life and my lifeline right now. You know, it's really important for me that I do get up on that stage and perform, because it directly impacts my health, and the more I don't do it, the more my lung capacity reduces. So
what is the difference? Maybe there's not even a difference in it, but what's the difference between presenting and hosting, if there's any difference at all?
I think they're a similar role, aren't they, really?
Are they? I just thought I'd randomly ask.
I think when you're talking about presenting, it's normally on a screen of some kind. There's normally some sort of screen involved. Hosting is more being the face at the front of the event, isn't it? And I guess that's where they're slightly different. Presenting tends to take you to TV and radio and those kind of different places. Whereas hosting is just normally within an event. That's my understanding of it.
Okay.
Anyway.
And like we've got talk about music, yeah. I also love to this is one of my favorite questions, to be fair, to ask people, yeah. Like, why? I don't know if you realize it as well, yeah. Because the beauty about music, because obviously I love sports. You know, like I said, I used to play football, but I realized obviously when you come to sports, because of your body, you get to a certain age where you need to retire because your body can't go on anymore, right? But the beauty about music is like you can do music for, you know, like for as long as you want, right? Go on.
With an addendum on that.
Yeah, go on.
Especially for women, so as you get older, your voice does change. You might lose an octave.
Oh, you're giving me a game right now. Shit.
But what's
I never think
important?
of those things.
What's important? And you can rag your voice as a singer. So if you're not singing properly, if you're not warming up, if you're a big smoker, if you drink a lot of alcohol, if you eat a lot of sugar, that's my tick list there. But anyway, if you do all of those things, they have a negative impact on your voice.
Yeah.
So I'm a smoker. And I just started smoking again, which I could really kick myself for because I'd quit for like 7 months. And I literally, about 6 weeks ago, fell off the wagon. So I'm back in that process. But anyway, as a smoker, I used to have a much wider range when I was younger. But now I've damaged my top notes. So the very top of my range. If I do that, there's no sound there. I have to push quite hard.
I was about to say, that sounds like Mariah Carey to me.
Yeah. But there's no sound. I have to push quite hard to get sound to come out at that kind of high because I smoke. And that's so lifestyle factors will affect how long your voice will last you for. You think about Adele. So Adele developed nodules in her throat because she wasn't singing properly. She wasn't warming up. She was also a smoker. And she's got a big voice, right? So big belting projections. And when those vocal cords are vibrating, if you're pushing too hard, you can cause little tears and little injuries. And then you develop scar tissue, which they call nodules. And that sits on your vocal cords. They're like little lumps. And so that will change how your sound is, how your actual, how your voice actually sounds when you push it out. And so Adele disappeared out of the music scene for a couple of years, do you remember? Because she had to have an operation on her throat to have those nodules removed.
I just thought she just took a break. Obviously, I like her music, but I'm not her biggest fan. I just thought like she literally, took a break.
Yeah, no,
and she came back with a Heartbroke again, and then she gave us another album.
They are the best albums. Can I just tell you my best songs about heartbreak, right?
Big up Whitney Houston and Mary J. Blige.
Whitney Houston, he never wrote a song. Whitney Houston never wrote her own music.
Oh, she had like people used to write her music.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think
that's okay too. I think if that's your strength, for her, that was her strength. She wanted to focus on the performance and the voice, and wanted people to provide her with great songs. And that's some of the brilliant relationships in the music industry where you have a really talented songwriter and a really talented vocalist, and that becomes a beautiful marriage.
She was the voice, to be honest.
She was.
I miss her voice.
But even her, she was affected, wasn't she? As she got older, so her drug addiction and the impact of the smoking crack and all of that, it affected her vocal cords. So I would say that as a kind of a note of caution, I guess, to anybody who wants to be a singer or wants to use their voice as their tool, is that just like everything else, you have to maintain it, and you have to look after it, and you have to do the right exercises to keep it at its optimum strength. And so I would advise anyone, whether you're a rapper, spoken word artist, singer, presenter, anybody that uses their voice as their tool, to learn a little bit about vocal exercises and just doing a little 10-15 minute warm up every day to get your voice at its optimal position. Just those little things will mean that your voice lasts longer and your career lasts longer. If you want to find out more about that stuff, come and see Acapella 360, because that's what we do, right?
Come on. You I want to do something different, yeah? I'm going to give you my phone, yeah? And something I saw on your Instagram, right? And obviously, it's just like the way you just wrote the caption, like obviously, read it to the people. And obviously, I just want to know, like, if you can remember what happened to you that day. And because I'm not going to lie, that caption really like stood out to me. Could you read it to the people, please?
So the caption is, I feel like a different woman today. Something took over me last night and I feel reborn. Reborn.
God damn.
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. Look at that.
I can see it.
It's real. The energy is real, guys.
God damn.
You just took me back to that moment, like right there.
Yeah, it literally just, like, just looking through, and I thought, wow.
I'll show you. You can't talk about it and not show them.
Let me show the people 1 second. Let me get. Yep. You see.
So this wonderful event. I think has been the pinnacle of my career so far. This was the gig that changed me. And the first time I did it, I think it was 2017, the first time I did it. We've done it 4 times now. And it's called Classical Uproar. And so I used to be part of a house act, or I am still part of a house act, called Nightgeist. And that's where we kind of had our most successes with our music, really. So we got some playlisting on Kiss and Capitol, which was the highlight of my musical journey then at that point. And then the boys are like house producers, and then they came up with this concept that they wanted. They were the first people to do it, actually. It's everywhere now, but they were the first people to do it, to take dance classics from the 90s with a 28-piece orchestra and create a live performance with an orchestra with dance classics from the 90s. Now it's everywhere. You've got Hacienda and you've got Garage Nation, and loads of people are doing the classical.
Blue was saying, remember Blue when she was saying about, we spoke to an artist and she literally said that as well, in terms of like how they literally just flip it, right? Flip all of these classic songs and
So I think for most artists, do not get to perform with an orchestra. So when I say that was the highlight of my musical career so far, you've got 28 musicians playing for you to sing.
I saw it when I was going first thinking, fuck
it was,
this looks so good, man.
It was.
I showed you even earlier. Remember the picture I showed you? I was saying, look what our guest has been up to, man.
So our first one we did, we had an audience of 500. And that's what this post was from. That was the first time we did it. And I'm quite a spiritual person. I believe in energies. I believe in, connecting to the power of nature and the universe and those kind of things. And when we did this gig, it was at a monastery. It's a monastery in the north of England. And what I didn't know at the time, but I found out after, is that this monastery is built on a ley line. Now, if you know anything about kind of, energy, ley lines are lines of energy that surround the earth in certain parts of the planet. The energy is stronger, it's to do with magnetism and things like that. And so I was very much on a kind of a bit of a spiritual journey at that time. Having a lot of doubt about myself, feeling like I was old to be trying to still do this in the music industry. And this is 7 years ago. Feeling like I was too old to be doing this now. I was getting lots of no's, wasn't getting, my kind of feet in the right kind of doors. And it was causing a lot of doubt in myself about who I was as an artist and who I was as a performer. And then I did this gig and totally owned a whole fucking stage.
Talk your shit. Tell them.
Musicians behind me, but I was the front and centre. I don't know. It was like I stepped into myself in that moment and just came alive. And because we were singing songs that aren't mine, so we're singing songs that everybody knows. And I had that moment that I think every artist yearns for, is to be singing something and the whole room singing it back to you. And even though it wasn't my music, it didn't matter. It wasn't about that. It's about the transfer of energy that happens between you and the crowd. When that does happen, and it's magic and it's alchemizing and it fills you up in a way that's what performing has always done for me. That connection with the audience is like an energy interchange. But this was on a whole different level, and I literally had goosebumps from the minute I stepped on the stage to the minute I stepped off, like the joy that was coursing through every single vein in my body. And it just changed me. It grounded me in myself. It grounded me in a knowing of my talent and my voice and my energy and my power. And before that moment, I'd been a bit lost with all that, and I was actually thinking about giving up music, and I was too old and all the rest of it. And that moment was just like a lightning strike that just changed everything for me.
Let you know why you should still be doing it.
Showed me who I am. It showed me the power of who I am. And it showed me the power of never quitting, never giving up on your dreams, Some of the biggest artists in the world have never got to perform with an orchestra. That is such a special thing to do. Definitely. It's rare to get that opportunity. And so I fully embraced it in that moment. And then we've done it a couple of times since, and the last time we did it was in 21. We haven't done it since 21. But the one that we did in 21 was to an audience of like 5,000. So that was crazy.
Say that again, how many? 5,000?
5,000. So you might have seen it on my Instagram where I'm on stage and all the crowd are singing back to me. That was at a race course. I can't think of what the name of it is. I want to say Cheltenham, but it's at one of the big race courses anyway. And it was for a private company. They were doing a festival for all of their staff. But it was like 5,000 capacity. And that was something different. That's obviously the biggest crowd I've ever performed to. So I love it when that comes around. They don't come around very often because it costs a lot. Obviously, it's huge. You've got 28 professional musicians that you've got to pay for. Musician unions, rates, and all that stuff. You've got to pay them properly because they're classically trained musicians, and you can't mess around with that stuff. So it doesn't come around too often. I think the first time they did it cost them about £40,000. So from the outside perspective, buying that in as a company doesn't happen too often. But I will always have those experiences. I think that's what we live for. Those big stages, that big opportunity to just share what it is that you've got inside you.
Yeah, it's true.